Hey VC, what's going on? It's me, Will, and I am back this time to talk a little bit about concerts. And I guess this is also a new series of videos that I'm gonna try to start this year, where I basically give you my review and share my thoughts on some of the recent concerts that I've been going to in the last few weeks or so. And just so you know, if you're a follower and you've been watching my videos for a long time, you may know that most of the concerts that I go to are actually very small concerts. They are usually local bands or punk rock or indie rock bands that usually play in very small venues here in Atlanta. Which in my opinion is great because usually if they play in a small venue, you can get up really close to see the band very close when they're performing. And also it's really great because if the venue is small enough, you get the chance to meet the band. They usually hang out at the merch table, so it's great, especially if you're a record collector. You can try to get your records signed as well. So yeah, most of them are gonna be small punk shows, indie rock, local bands performing here in Atlanta. And I'm also gonna try to show you some video that I took during the shows as well. And I guess one more thing that I wanted to do in this video is I guess I would call it a shout out to myself because I wanted to introduce my newest photography project, which just in case you didn't know, I've been doing photography for the last 4 years or so as a hobby, mostly travel, landscape, and some portrait as well. But it wasn't until last year in 2016 where I actually started doing some concert photography. I just decided, why not combine two hobbies into two? I usually go to a lot of shows anyway, so I decided to bring my camera. If the venue will allow, I would bring my camera and I would start taking some pictures of the bands playing live. So I just wanted to introduce my photography page. I'll put a link here in the description. It's called Will Call Photography, and I'm in Facebook, I'm in Twitter, I'm in all those social networks. So if you want to, please go ahead and follow me in social media. And I'm gonna try to show you some video, like I said before, but I'm also gonna try to show you some pictures here in the video as well when I talk about some of the bands that played live, and if I was able to take a picture of them when they were performing. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some bands that were playing here recently in Atlanta. The first band that I wanted to talk about was American Wrestlers, and they're a band from St. Louis, but the singer is actually from Scotland. And they played here in Atlanta in the Drunken Unicorn a few weeks ago on January 11th. And let's go ahead and check out a short clip from them performing live at the show. Alright, so the American Wrestlers put in a great show at the Drunken Unicorn. I was surprised to see that there weren't that many people in the audience that went to see them because they put it in a fantastic show. Fast-paced, very emotional music, punk rock or indie rock with a lot of elements or a lot of influences of emo music as well. Fantastic show, I highly recommend it. They've been signed to Fat Possum Records for several years now, and Fat Possum is an excellent record label, so I highly recommend that you check them out. They have a new album that came out late last year that is called Goodbye Terrible Youth. It's their second album and it's absolutely fantastic, so make sure that you check them out. And I think they might still be on tour, so if they're coming to a city near you, make sure that you check them out. Alright, next, I guess this is probably my newest, or I would call them, this band is slowly becoming one of my favorite local bands. And I'm talking about Gringo Star, and I got a record from them actually. They played earlier this year in January. 22nd at the Star Bar or Star Community Bar here in Atlanta, and this is their newest record called The Sights and In Between. I think I've shown this record before, but anyways, a great band. I got the record signed also by 3 of the band members, as you can see there in the top. Very friendly dudes as well. And they were playing, I guess, what they called their 10th year anniversary of the band. They brought some of their friends from other bands that also played, that opened for them, and they played a really cool show at the Star Bar on January 22nd. And in case you haven't heard of Gringo Star, they are absolutely fantastic. Indie rock, a little bit of elements of pop as well, and garage rock. They do it very well. And actually, let me show you the record itself. I think I got this one at the show too, or one of their previous shows. Again, all the sights and in between. And there's the back. Came in with this nice insert. And there's the band, a local band from here in Atlanta. And the back, all the track list. I'm not sure if I actually shown this record before, but it's a very cool looking record. It sounds great also, and it looks great too, on transparent marbled blue vinyl. Again, Gringo Star with the sights and in between. Fantastic album. Again, one of the bands that the more I hear them, the more I like, and this album is excellent album. Let's actually go ahead and check out a short clip of them playing live here at the Star Bar. Alright, so that was Gringo Star playing live at the Star Bar here in Atlanta, and I really highly recommend that you check out Gringo Star, because I would say that they are definitely my favorite local band from Atlanta right now. Fantastic band. Their shows are just really fun. Their music, either live or on record, they're excellent, and the band members are really friendly as well. So if you get a chance to see them live, go ahead and check them out. So yeah, that was Gringo Star, and make sure that you also check out their newest album, the one that I showed you before, the Sights and In Between, because it's just excellent. And alright, so up next, I also wanted to talk a little bit about another local band. This band is not really from Atlanta, but they are from Athens, Georgia. But I would think they are, I guess, close enough to call them local as well. This band is called Motherfucker, and yes, they have a very unique name. But either way, they are excellent. They are an excellent punk band. Like I said before, I'm from Athens, Georgia. Full-blown punk rock, fast-paced with a lot of elements or influences of hardcore punk. If you're into bands like Black Flag and Circle Jerks and hardcore punk, you will like Motherfucker a lot. They have a new album called Confetti. I'll put a link, picture here in the video, and I'll put a link in the description as well if you want to check it out. And honestly, I wasn't able to listen to the album yet, but after seeing that show, I definitely need to get that album, because the performance was excellent. A very highly energetic performance, lots of sonic energy being shown by the band when they were playing live, and the audience was just really into it. They put out a great show at the Earl in February 3rd in East Atlanta. Let's actually go ahead and check out a short clip of Motherfucker playing live at the Earl. Alright, so up next I also wanted to talk a little bit about this band called Magnapop. And Magnapop is also another local band from here in Atlanta. But this band is a little bit older compared to the other bands that I mentioned before. They've definitely been around for a while. I think they got started back in the late 80s. They were fairly popular back in the early and mid 90s when they had the whole explosion of alternative rock and grunge and punk rock around the early and mid 90s. And they were also fairly influential over other bands as well that came out around the same time. So a fairly big band. That was very surprised to see that they announced a couple of shows at 529 Club or 529 Bar in East Atlanta, because out of all the small venues in Atlanta, 529 is definitely the smallest venue in the whole city. It is a very small, very intimate venue, so it's fun to see shows there because you can get pretty close to the bands. But I guess Magnapop was big enough to completely sell out the first show days in advance. And this is a venue where usually you can just show up to the day of the show and get your tickets at the door, because the shows are usually small enough that you can just show up. But I guess it wasn't the case with Magnapop. They sold out quickly that first show on Friday. So I wasn't able to go see them on Friday, but I was glad to see that they actually had a second show on Saturday, so I went to that one. I got my tickets in advance. They had the former lead singer of the DBs, Peter Hornsapple, opening for them. He did an acoustic set.
You're asking what will I do now? What does it matter anyhow? I gave her everything I had, and everything I got, and everything I bought. The one thing I forgot.
I was pretty much in the back of the venue, so the video quality is not really the best. But he put a really cool show. He has a lot of really fun songs, and he's also a very friendly guy. So it was a really cool opening act for the Magnapop. Or Magnapop. And Magnapop, even though this is a band that they are definitely not in their prime anymore, they've been around for a long time, like I said before. Most of the band members are already in their late 50s, I think. But they can still rock out, and they put out a really cool show at the 529 Bar. The singer can still sing really well. The guitar, the bass, and the drums are still top-notch. Great performance by Magnapop. They played all of the hits, especially the ones that they had back in the mid-90s. So really fun show.
Then slowly me again. In another room they sit, listening to other lives. Do it all the time. Do it all the time. Do it all the time.
Alright, so that was Magnapop playing live in East Atlanta at the 529 Bar. And right after Magnapop, actually a band called Elf Power took the stage, and they were really cool as well. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any video of them, but I highly recommend that you check them out, and I'll put a link here in the description. Alright, then last but not least, the last band that I wanted to talk about in this video is a band that I've discovered a couple of years ago, almost by accident. It's another local band from here in Atlanta. The band is called the Starbenders, and they kick ass. I think I've seen them live like 4 or 5 times, and they just really rock out. They call themselves kind of like glam rock, but I would call them more like a mix of garage rock and punk rock and alternative rock. Their style is right up my alley. They have a lot of really catchy songs, high energy, fast-paced punk and garage rock music. Really cool band. They also a very visual band as well. The kind of image that they give when they're on stage is very impressive. It definitely looks like they prepare a lot, not only with their music, but the way of their image and the way that they want to see themselves to the audience. Really cool band. They played just yesterday in the Earl in East Atlanta as well, in February 18th, and I was there at the show, and again they didn't disappoint. It was a great show. And let's actually go ahead and check out a short clip from the Starbenders. Alright, so that was the Starbenders playing live here in Atlanta just yesterday on Saturday. And yeah, like I said before, they just kicked ass. They put a lot of energy in their shows, and they're just fantastic. Highly recommended local band from here in the Atlanta area. And I guess the only problem that I have with the Starbenders is that they don't have any records out for sale on physical format. I'm a record collector and I really want to buy a record from them, but I think they have a couple of records out, but they are all on digital format. I don't think they even released any CDs at all. I could be wrong with that, but I've been to many of their shows. They've never had it on for sale on the merch table, and I've also been online, and it's really hard to find. I've never seen one of their records out on physical format, so hopefully in the future they will have something up for sale. But their music is just excellent. Highly recommend that you check out the Starbenders. Alright, so that's it for my first edition of my concert reviews. I hope you liked that. Again, please make sure to check out my concert photography page. I'll put a link here in the description. And please do follow me on social media as well. And the links are all in my website. Again, VC, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and take care. Bye bye.